Ally is a girl who has lupus, a disease that affects the skin. This condition means that her immune system tackles her own body instead of bacteria or viruses. She feels weak most of the time and is particularly sensitive to sunlight, so she can't go outside and doesn't have any friends. Ally is 16 years old today, but her celebration is just her wealthy parents and the staff. At that moment, her fave pop star calls her on video to wish her a happy birthday. Her parents hired him to convey the message, which is a gift from them. Ally loves it, but she's also upset that this cute guy saw her sick look. Ally then takes all of her medicines and rips off some dead skin in front of the mirror. Then she begs an AI for help with making friends. But all of the AI's suggestions require her to walk outside, something she can't do. It also talks about meeting people on forums, but Ally wants to meet people in person. The AI's next suggestion is to obtain a pet, but Ally is allergic, so she angrily closes her laptop. After that, Ally gets into the pool with the help of a special chair that lowers her slowly. She goes in and stays underwater for a time to relax, but this also gives her odd images. A weird scientist is putting her to sleep as bodies that look like hers float in tubes. Ally wakes up when one of these bodies opens her eyes and finds she's almost out of breath. She has a hard time swimming, so her mother Georgia helps her get back to the chair. Later, Ally's parents throw a party for a bunch of rich people to show off their Project Elysium. It's a libertarian paradise with pure air and water where people can dwell while the rest of the world falls apart. It is on a completely independent island and has the most up-to-date technologies and public health services. Some guests ask about Ally, but her parents tell them she can't be with strangers because she might get sick. In the meantime, Ally is watching the party on the security cameras. She sees a waiter taking food outside and follows him on the TV to see that there are teenagers on the beach. Ally tries to cover up as much as she can and sneaks out of the house, which is simple because everyone is busy with the party. Two boys on the beach think she's an old woman. Ally pulls off her sunglasses to display her young face and attempts to talk to them, but she's incredibly awkward and can't really connect. The males walk away, and Ally can hear them making fun of her skin condition. She believes coming was a mistake and is going to leave, but Brooke gives her a beer, and she remains to make friends. Georgia gives Ally some cake, but when she gets to the house, she's not there. She sends her guards out right away to look for her. Ally is discovering all the gossip about her friends on the beach. She takes her first sip of beer, and it makes her cough. At that point, the bodyguards show up and try to take her away, but Ally won't go and gets angry when one of the guards tries to touch her. Ally now starts to cough a lot, but the guards are too busy chasing the boys to help her because they are filming them. A few minutes later, the guards bring Ally back to the house with Brooke and talk about the beer. Georgia goes crazy right soon, and Brooke attempts to protect Ally, so the soldiers pull her away. Georgia keeps yelling at Ally, which makes her feel bad. Ally looks for Brooke on social media that night, but she chooses not to call her because she knows she won't see her again. Her parents talk about what happened and agree that they need to do something because teenagers just get more rebellious as they get older. The next morning, the parents eat a lot of supplements for breakfast before talking to Ally. Georgia knows that socializing is excellent for mental health and stress, so she lets Brooke hang out with Ally. Brooke says that Georgia made her take some tests first and that she's being paid to attend, but the girls really do get along. Ally shows Brooke around the house and tells her that no one is permitted in her parents' office. Ally and Brooke enjoy a lot of fun together for the following few days. Brooke sends wigs for Ally to put on, and they swim in the pool, watch films, and even work out together. Brooke asks Ally whether her parents are Russian one day because she has heard them speak it. Ally said that they speak various languages because they do business all around the world. Their business finds plants that can treat people, and they are very health conscious. They have a very tight diet. They can only eat between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., and everything they eat is vegan. Brooke doesn't like the supplements in the fridge and shows Ally how to prepare soup from scratch. The maids had to bring a knife because it's generally kept out of Ally's reach. Later, Brooke draws eyebrows on Ally's face to make her seem better. She takes off her bandana, which shows the tiny patches of hair on her head. Brooke shaves them, and then they kiss. Ally's parents, on the other hand, are monitoring it on all the security cameras at the spa. Georgia doesn't trust Brooke and is afraid about how she will affect Ally. But her husband Jeff feels it's good for Ally to have a friend. Brooke surprises her brother Robbie, who is in a wheelchair, with the medicine she took from Ally's residence when she gets home. She says she feels horrible for stealing because the family has been wonderful to her. Robbie says it's okay because the family is highly suspicious. He has looked up Jeff and Georgia, but he hasn't found a single photo of them. Someone comes into Ally's room that night. She has another dream about the strange scientist, and this time, she hears him speaking Russian. Next to her is a body with its heart showing. Ally wakes up when a tube full of blood wraps around her neck. She is so upset by the dream that she contacts Brooke, who is looking after Robbie. Because of the drug, he's throwing up right now. Ally tells Brooke about the dream and wants her to come over, but Brooke can't since she needs to remain with Robbie. She can only talk to her on the phone. The next day, the girls hunt for a movie to watch. Brooke finds a CD with old family films on it and plays it. The film shows Ally coming to this place as a child. Ally says that was the last day she felt well. After 10 years, Brooke sees that Georgia still looks the same. Ally says that her mother died right after giving birth to her and that she never knew her father. She was glad that Georgia and Jeff adopted her. In return, Brooke says that her mother has schizophrenia and her father isn't a kind person, so she only sees him every 2 or 3 years. Brooke asks Ally if she trusts her parents, as they seem a little strange. Ally is upset with what Brooke is saying because they have spent millions of dollars trying to help her. Brooke departs when they argue. Ally keeps watching the video and she sees herself hidden in a room that looks weird. Georgia said they waited too long to hug her. Later, Jeff finds Ally crying because she fears she can't fix things with Brooke and will never have a friend again. Jeff soothes her, but he doesn't say anything. A little later, Ally is seated in the living room and doesn't spot an old lady looking in from the outside. The lady comes in soon after, and Ally asks her what she wants. The woman calls Ally's name, jumps on her, yells that she needs it, and then bites Ally's arm. The guards come and pull the woman away, which is a good thing. Georgia takes care of the wound, while Jeff yells at the guards for their bad security. Ally thinks the woman looked sick and acted like she recognized her, but Georgia doesn't listen and says it was just a random homeless person. Robbie and Brooke, on the other hand, look for the medicine's ingredients on the dark web and find out that it doesn't work for lupus. What they have will really make anyone into a vegetable. Brooke leaves a voicemail for Ally in which she says she's sorry for what occurred and asks to make things right between them. She sees someone slipping out of the house in the middle of the night while she listens to it. The next morning, Ally and her mother get into a small fight, but Ally convinces her to let her visit Brooke again. The girls cook dinner together in the evening. Georgia still doesn't like them, but she does agree to sample their cuisine and even claims it's good. She also tells Brooke that she knows she can be hard to deal with, but she wants them to get along. Brooke merely states that she is grateful to be let in the house and that she really cares about Ally. Georgia and Ally both suddenly feel dizzy, and Brooke says she slipped a sedative in their lunch as they pass out. Ally wakes up in Brooke's car a few minutes later and goes crazy. Brooke tries to tell her parents that they are making her sick on purpose, but the diversion makes them crash. When Jeff gets back to the mansion, he finds Georgia waking up. Jeff stops a servant from calling the police and tells her they have their own staff. Brooke isn't responding to any of the therapies in the hospital. Dr. Morrissey finds out that Ally has a very unusual blood type, and they can't find anyone who has the same type. Morrissey tells Jeff that Ally doesn't have lupus and that he wants to do some tests on her. But Jeff interrupts him and says that his private doctor will take care of her. While this is going on, 2 guards are going through Brooke's flat. Robbie complains about how they abuse their power, so they damage his computer and say they will kill him if he ever goes near Ally's family. Ally looks better when she gets home later. She appreciates her parents for not filing charges, but she also realizes that she can't trust anyone. Ally still wants to know if Brooke is okay, so Georgia says she will keep an eye on her progress, but won't let Ally see her again. Ally dreams that she wakes up in a car again that night, but this time her parents are driving. When they turn around, their faces look incredibly scary. Ally wakes up at that moment and decides to call the hospital to find out how Brooke is doing. Morrissey tells her that Brooke is in a coma and that she doesn't have lupus. Ally storms into her parents' office and asks why they didn't inform her she doesn't have lupus. Georgia says they forwarded her information to a number of schools to make sure it was real. Morrissey just made a mistake. All the other physicians agree that she indeed has lupus. Ally leaves their office without saying a thing. Jeff tells Ally the reports from the other doctors later when Ally is watching old films. Ally doesn't want to read all those papers, so she says she overreacted and urges her dad to forget about it. Robbie goes to the hospital to see Brooke and has a breakdown, yelling at her for not waking up. Morrissey comes to check on Robbie and tells him that Ally's parents have offered to pay for Brooke's care. But Robbie is still suspicious and thinks that they exploit Ally as the face of their organization to get money that they keep for themselves. Morrissey then begins to look into Ally's blood type, which is called golden blood. He looks into how it can be used in medicine and finds an article about Jeff and George's Hidden Life Extension Lab. Morrissey decides to go home after a nurse tells him it's late, and he doesn't see another car behind him. Morrissey gets a flat tire in the middle of the road. He calls a repair shop, but it's 2 hours distant, so he decides to fix it himself. At that moment, a different automobile pulls over nearby, and the driver offers to aid him. Morrissey gives him a tool, and the man hits him on the head with it a few times, killing him. Ally spits out her medicine that night and flushes it down the toilet. She sees her mother leave the house, and then follows her into a room in the garden. It looks like a spa, but Georgia isn't there. Ally decides to go back when she hears the guards. She drops her phone by accident as she sees a figure in the shadows in the garden. She can't see the figure anymore after she picks it up. Ally's parents are scared the next morning since she's eating more and faster than normal. They ask her if she's taking her meds, and she says she is. Then she swims in the pool for a while, and her parents see that she's getting better at it. Jeff tells Ally that her skin looks great at dinner, and she responds it's because she swam in the sun. Georgia gets mad because the sun can make her skin break out, so Ally says she will remain inside tomorrow. Ally tosses her meds in the toilet again before bed. She finds some crimson droplets on her toothbrush, and then she spits up a lot of blood all over the sink. Brooke shows up in the mirror and begs her to wake up, which proves that this is just a dream. At the same time, Brooke wakes up in the hospital. Ally wakes up the next morning feeling weak again and not very hungry. She knows her parents are putting her medicine in her food to make her sick again, so she makes sure to spew it up in the restroom. She attempts to call Brooke later, but she can't get through. After, she tries to use her computer, but her parents have changed the password. She chooses to watch the old film again and sees a door she's never seen before. Brooke tries to call Ally at the same time, but she keeps getting a message saying the phone is out of service. Then she talks Robbie into taking her out of the hospital. Ally says she's not hungry during supper and that she'll go to bed early to rest. This makes Georgia happy. She throws the food in the toilet again, and when Georgia checks on her, she acts like she's asleep. Ally slips out to go back to the strange spa after her mother leaves. She remembers the movie and looks about the room until she finds a button that is hidden. When she pushes it, a mirror moves to show a padlock. She tries using her birthday and her parents' anniversary as passwords, but they don't work. Then she tries the day of the video, which finally opens the secret door and shows her several steps. Ally climbs down and sees a bunch of gloomy hallways. She walks about till she comes across a lab with a fridge that has a few bags of her blood in it. Her parents are giving her gold and blood through in 4 drip on 2 stretchers. They open their eyes then, and Ally dashes away, hitting a servant on her way out. A guard catches her when she gets to the garden. Ally is then strapped to a stretcher. She labels her parents monsters, but Jeff claims they're really amazing parents, and Ally's blood is 1 in a million. They charge $200,000 a pint because it's so uncommon. They say that the drug caused her lupus, and that they did it to keep her in line. Georgia says she's 57, and Jeff is 63. Ally's blood is what made all of this happen, not their diet or activity. Jeff calls Ally the answer. Meanwhile, Robbie and Brooke get to the area and look for a means to get into the estate without being seen. Georgia prepares a sedative in the lab. Ally is able to get her hands free of the straps and grab the syringe to stab her mother with the tranquilizer. Then she takes off running. She quickly gets to the shore and tries to think of anything to do. Brooke is lucky to locate her and offers to help her. The girls hide under a trunk when the guards arrive hunting for Ally. They wait for the men to leave before going inside and opening the door for Robbie. The gang talks about what to do and comes to the conclusion that they can't go to the police or the media since their parents use bribes to control everything. If they tried to get away in a car, the police would just follow them. The only thing they can do is stop everything. Ally and Brooke acquire a knife and go to the lab to break open all the blood containers. They hear classical music on their way out and follow it into a nice office. The Elysium Project trailer is playing on a laptop. Suddenly, they hear a disturbance, and a man comes up behind them. Ally knows that this is Dr. Volker, the scientist from her dreams. The girls scurry away when he starts speaking Russian. Robbie can see on the cameras that the guards are chasing the females. But a guard grabs his phone as he tries to call his sister to alert her. The girls keep rushing through the hallways looking for a way out and ultimately locate another lab. Ally sees 3 big tubs with bodies in them and knows that they are her clones. To make the Elysium Project happen, they need to turn her into a franchise. Ally picks up a tool and starts pounding the tubes, so Volker runs in to attempt to stop her. Brooke smacks him once right away to bring him down, and then she keeps hitting him to make him stop talking. Ally breaks the tubes after hitting them a few times, and the clones fall out. She then knocks them on the head several times to kill them. A guard catches Brooke off guard when the girls try to leave. Ally's parents try to calm her down because she is threatening him with a knife. After Brooke tells them they got rid of the clones, Ally says she would delete herself if they don't help. Jeff agrees to go along with it, but he wants to converse for only 10 minutes. Georgia takes Brooke upstairs and contacts her pilot to make the private jet ready. She also wants a male to get rid of the siblings. Jeff tells Ally in the garden that he never wanted to be a father, but she made him very happy. He says he loves her the most and wants to hug her, but she keeps him away with a knife. Jeff leaps on her and attempts to take the knife away from her when she says she would kill herself again. After a fight, Ally stabs Jeff, and he falls to the ground. She regrets it right away and wants to get treatment, but Jeff tells her stay and then passes out after saying he's sorry. Georgia rushes to her husband's side when Ally has a breakdown and sees that he still has a pulse. She tells Ally to help him, but Ally says no and attempts to leave. Georgia is so angry that she tackles her, and they both fall into the pool and start fighting. Georgia tries to get out of the water since Ally is younger and has more energy. But Ally pulls her back and ties the rope of her chair around her mother's neck before pushing her under the water. Georgia is out cold in just a few seconds. Georgia wakes up and grabs Ally when she attempts to leave. Ally gets the knife and cuts her mother's neck, killing her. After that, Ally gets out of the pool and tells the guards that they work for her now because she is the only heir to the family's wealth. She tells them to take care of both bodies before she goes inside. A year later, a healthy Ally is telling people that her parents died in a boating accident. She still wants to create Elysium, but her aim is to make it a real health center for kids, no matter how much money they have. Brooke joins her and says that their company has used Ally's blood to find cures for diabetes, lupus, and cancer. At that moment, Ally gets a call from Robbie, who is the first person to be tested and can now walk again. He's been looking around the underground lab because it's bigger than it looks. He has now located a new area full of hundreds of Ally clones. To see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and enable on notifications. Thank you for watching.